In Detective Comics Batman, all hell is breaking loose as the young heroes are getting swarmed in a training simulation. Tim Drake Robin mutters they're done, while Spoiler yells there's too many of them as the enemy proceeds to advance. As a small army of Jokers converge on Tim Drake Robin, the Spoiler, the Orphan, and Clayface, who's fighting in his human form, they proceed to engage the enemy, but Clayface yells that he can't fight like this, while Robin yells to shut the simulation down. Now, Batwoman refuses as the training session is not over, but Robin puts in his override code and all the enemies proceed to deteriorate in front of them. Now, as the young heroes finally go inside, they tell Batwoman what the fuck as she let that training simulation run for 3 hours. Now, as Clayface comes in, he's also pissed because he has to wear this band that inhibits his Clayface powers. But Batwoman responds that she needed to see how they all respond beyond the point of exhaustion. She tells Spoiler she can execute complicated moves, yet she hasn't built up her body to use them properly, and thus she gets exhausted way too quickly. While Orphan knows she's the best fighter, and thus she's trying to fight everyone at once, and she can't win 12 battles at one time. And then there's Clayface, who needs to learn the fundamentals, and thus he needs to fight in his human form. The group retires to the Belfry, which Robin explains is a highly advanced facility at the center of Gotham that's meant to be the new front line for the war on crime. Robin explains to Batwoman that he knows there's people out there that could use their help, but Batwoman tells them that they're not ready as Batman wants to keep them grounded for the time being. Now, Robin continues to argue with Batwoman, but she basically tells him that if you have a problem with that, go talk to Batman yourself. Now, as Robin goes to talk to Batman, he actually ends up accompanying him to a secret clinic that's actually serving as a secret location for Dr. Thompkins. Now, this place is actually Azrael's base of operation, and inside, she has John Paul on a stretcher as he's barely conscious. Jean Paul tells Batman about shadows under the surface. He tells them they're fighting a war and they'll do the unforgivable. He tells Batman of a name called the Colony. Later, as Batman and Robin would be on the roof, they try to figure out what the colony means, but at the time, Batman doesn't know and he needs to do some more digging. Now, Tim Drake asks Batman why he would bring him in on all this, but Batman explains that even if he never believed he was Robin, to Batman, he was always Robin. Later, at Park Row, Robin would go see Stephanie Brown, his girl, aka the Spoiler. Now, Stephanie would be actually kind of pissed at Robin as he was supposed to talk to Batman about his academic future, but he did not do so. Now, Orphan ends up showing up, but Stephanie asks for the place to herself tonight, that way Robin can clap cheeks. Later, as Batwoman would be with her father, Lieutenant Colonel Kane, he berates her about teaming up with Batman. He tells Catherine that Batman is the worst of the Waynes as he's fighting a war, yet he doesn't have an army. He warns her about teaming up with Batman, nevertheless, Catherine doesn't listen. Later, as Batman is driving the Batmobile through the night, returning home, Alfred gets on comms asking if he should prepare a salmon dish. Now, Batman tells Alfred something's odd on his sensors as his sensors tell him he's alone on the road. Alfred asks what's the issue, but Batman tells him he's not alone as he's suddenly surrounded by several armored vehicles. Batman hits the brakes as the vehicles try to collide with him, and then he makes a beeline for the Tri-Gate Bridge. But as he gets to the bridge, there's several more vehicles there waiting to ambush him. One of the colony soldiers shoots an electric arm cannon at the Batmobile that results in a massive explosion. Batman is forced to eject from the Batmobile as the entire vehicle goes up in flame. But as Batman makes his way to the street, he's confronted by several members of the colony that tells him he should have just let this go, but now they have to take him in. Now, we all know Batman is not going out without a fight, so Batman tells them, "You can try," as he proceeds to engage a small army full of colony soldiers. To be continued.